Hey guys, this is Nick from forexnoobs.com with my midday analysis. Just a quick notification before the analysis. Right now, the Forex Mastermind course is open for enrollment for a few days. Visit the link below this video to check out the course. So before I start the analysis, I want to explain how it works so you can actually use it in your trading. On most Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I hold a live analysis session for my Forex Mastermind students. These sessions are recorded and posted to YouTube. I say most because some days I'm busy and other days I'm not trading, and I have a rule: when I'm not trading, I do not post analysis. In the analysis, I look for price action reversal setups on around 10 to 20 pairs that I'm currently trading. I check every time frame for every pair, taking a systematic approach to doing analysis. Personally, I do this analysis several times per day, but only the midday session is recorded as most setups are spotted then. So what are setups? A reversal setup occurs when price stalls at an area of support resistance and a transition of power occurs, from buyers to sellers or from sellers to buyers. I wait for price to approach these areas and spot potential setups. But these setups are not actual trades. When I share a setup on this analysis, it doesn't mean I'm entering the trade right away. Setups are just setups, and many setups do not trigger, so they never actually become trades. But some of them do, of course, and some of them become trades. To understand this, you have to know a little bit about my strategy, which I share for free on forexnoobs.com, and there's a link to the strategy also below. I use 4 different tags in the name of these analysis videos. The tags are in brackets at the end of the name. It's important to know these tags just so you understand what is in the video. So if you see no setups, that means there are no setups today, obviously. If you see upcoming setups on, that means there are no setups, but I have spotted some very strong support resistance areas, which may lead to setups later in the day. So that could be anywhere between a few hours to a whole day. And if it's tagged with setups on, that means there are setups today, and I'm sharing potential trades in the video itself. So let's get started with the analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 4th of July, 2017. Happy Independence Day to you Americans. It is 13:11 here in the UK. Let's get started with the analysis. Do you say Happy Independence Day? Is that something you say? There's Americans in here for sure. Happy 4th of July. I think I've heard that before. Anyway, let's get started with the analysis. Danny says, yeah, some say it. Bob says, happy 4th. Cool. It's close enough. All right. Let's get started. So, yesterday's analysis, we talked a little bit about Euro USD. I know some of you are short on Euro USD. I got a Skype message this morning by someone wanting to close out early. I honestly suggest you don't close out early. May as well hold on to it now. I mean, it's a good setup anyway, so there's no real reason to close out early. It's got a lot of room to move. But anyway, as far as analysis goes right now, there's not that much going on. If you're holding the position, you may as well hold it. It just recently jumped back down anyway, so it's still looking good. Sellers are still in control, so you may as well hold it at this point. If you're not, and it's way too late. So let's move on to Euro GBP. What's going on with Euro GBP? It is just stalling out on support. There's really not much that I would trade here. All right, USDCHF. Looks interesting how it's stalling on resistance, but not too sure if we have enough room. All right, let's say, oops, I'm on the wrong tools. Let's say we theoretically wanted to take a short trade here, short continuation trade. There's really not that much room to the short side. And this might be worth it. I mean, if it closes like it is now, we might be able to get into a retrace entry or something. Do watch out for this. USDCHF, it actually looks kind of decent. It looks like we might get a continuation reversal here. There is potential there, so do watch out for that. All right, GBP-JPY, we talked about this one a little bit yesterday. We're just waiting for it to hit resistance. This is a massive resistance area, huge resistance. It's the highest point it's been since Brexit, essentially. If we look over here, this high is those Brexit highs, or post-Brexit highs. So it hasn't been able to get above here in over a year now. So I want to see what happens next time it approaches this level. So we're keeping a close eye on the 147.60, around about there. I'm going to keep a close eye on it and just see how it plays out. Right now, it's not at that area and it's already stalling. So we just need to wait. This is just a wait and see type thing with this pair. All right, CAD-JPY. What's going on with CAD-JPY? It's kind of stalling. Been watching this since yesterday, but there's not really that much going on. I mean, the 12-hour, maybe we could take a short here. Don't really like how that wick closed. I mean, there's potential here, but it's not that good. Probably just going to skip this, to be honest. AUD CAD stalling pretty heavily right now on the support area. Well, actually, no, I'm exaggerating things. It's not really stalling heavily, but it is clearly stalling. We're seeing across multiple time frames that price is stalling here. It's got a while till it closes, so it might keep going, but this is worth watching. We could get a potential bullish reversal here. It is counter trend, but we could get in for kind of like a quick reversal. So something like that, get in with a target around here. I mean, it just depends. It's something worth keeping an eye on. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on. I want to see what happens with this. So AUD CAD, potential long, right now on the lower time frames. Even on the 12-hour though. Let's just see how this current 12-hour candle closes. It's got a long time until it closes. So by the time this closes, it's very likely that sellers will have continued to push down. But if they haven't when this 12-hour candle closes, I might start to be a little convinced that sellers are losing steam and that buyers are going to take temporary control of price. So it's worth watching, but don't get excited, because it's very likely to turn out to be nothing. Nice little AUD-JPY reversal there, but anyone enter this one? The AUD-JPY short, 6 hour. Anyone? No? All right. So no point discussing it then. AUD-JPY is kind of like sitting in between support resistance areas, so there's nothing much going on now. AUD New Zealand, what's going on with this? Nothing really. It's just kind of like come up and bounced away. AUD USD, ooh, sitting on support. This is a messy support area though. Just split the difference with this support resistance area. I'm going to place it around about here. Why have I pulled this support resistance area up? Because it's more in line with this recent bounce here, but it also lines up with this bounce here and that bounce there and the wicks here. So it's kind of a, I've moved it up because of that, essentially. We'll just see how it works. And right now price is kind of stalling in this area. it doesn't really matter. I didn't move it down because it's stalling there. Even if I hadn't moved it, you know, we'd still be looking at this and considering a potential trade. So I'm not curve fitting with moving the support resistance area. I'm just adjusting it to the most recent bounce, because that's what we do with support resistance. We put it to the most recent bounces. So recent bounces are most important. So we've moved it up to the recent bounce, and that's lining up with this current indecision candle. So what does that mean? Ash is saying AUD's move down was caused by news. Yep. I know. So we've got this kind of spike down. It's sitting on support. Now this has potential. And the cool thing about news-based moves, when price moves down based on news, a lot of the times it's going to retrace back to where it started pretty quickly. So we also have that in our side now. So there is potential here for a long trade, 12-hour possibly. The thing with news-based moves though is they tend to kind of happen a little bit quicker. So I might also be watching the 6 hour. 6 hours is going to close in 2 hours, 40 minutes. I'm going to keep a close eye on this. This has a lot of potential. AUDUSD potential long, guys. Right, Euro AUD. What's Euro AUD doing? Nothing much. Just messy moves. Yeah, nothing much. Euro CAD. What is going on with Euro CAD? Again, this is pretty messy right now. Yeah, nothing much going on. Euro JPY. Just kind of like still stalling on that resistance area, nothing much. Euro New Zealand, same thing. All these Euro pairs are just kind of sucking right now. GBP AUD, in between support resistance right now, so there's nothing that I would be tempted to trade at the moment. GBP CAD, again in between support resistance areas, has been ranging. This tight range that we've been seeing on a lot of pairs is just getting very annoying. I mean, there's traders who will trade range breaks, stuff like that, but range breaks aren't really my thing. And the problem with a range break with this, in my opinion, is that we have support down here. So if it breaks out from here, it's going to go straight into the support. If it breaks out from there, it's going to go straight into resistance. So I'm not, I'm not too convinced by doing range breaks, especially not in this area. But most importantly, I don't trade range breaks, so it doesn't really matter. GBP New Zealand, what's going on with this? Is this finally moving down? No, not really. It was a trade here last week. Continuation reversal that never really continued. But by this point, if anyone's still in this trade, I said yesterday you might want to consider getting out. At this point, you really do want to consider getting out. You'll get out with a tiny bit of profit. You won't make any loss on this trade, except for, I guess, a loss of time waiting for it to move down. But yeah, nothing much is going on with GBP New Zealand right now. GBP USD. Looking at this yesterday, potential short, but it just didn't look that great. Still doesn't look that great. The better setup was Euro USD. They were almost identical, except Euro USD just looked a lot better. So yeah, nothing much going on there either. New Zealand CAD, what is that doing? That's just continuing on its way down, just straight down. New Zealand JPY, what is up with that? Just trending up, nothing much. New Zealand USD, someone was short on New Zealand USD, weren't they? Or maybe a few people were short. You're short, Park? We don't have the chat on the screen. It's kind of, actually no, that shows last names. How's the trade going then, man? Where'd you get in? What time frame? Give me some numbers. 12 hour probably would be my guess. While you do that, while you tell us your entry, I'm just going to go quickly to USD CAD, see what's going on there. USD just below support. Looks like it might do a continuation, but not enough room for me to want to trade it. And USDJPY kind of just sucks. So let's summarize. AUDUSD is sitting on top of support. 4-hour chart is showing us pretty decent indecision, as is the 6-hour chart. These candles are going to close pretty soon. The 4-hour candle is going to close in 30 minutes. 6-hour candle is going to close in 2 hours, 30 minutes. I'm going to be watching this on the 4-hour and the 6-hour. The thing with this setup, right, is that this is kind of like a news-based reversal. So we're not trading the news, but what we would want to trade would be the retrace from the news. So there is potential to trade the retrace from the news. I'm not saying right now that I'm going to get in because I need to actually do some analysis and I need to wait for indecision to close. I'm just saying there's potential here to take a retrace based on the move caused by news. The good thing about that is that these news-based moves are often short-lived. So what will happen with these news-based moves is they'll come down to a support area or up to a resistance, they'll stall, and then they'll go back up to where they started. So if that's going to happen here, that's going to give us quite a nice little trade. Now, generally speaking, with my trades, I like to take them on the higher time frames when possible. But these news-based reversals, they tend to happen pretty quickly. So this is probably going to be like a 4, 6, 8, something like that. Smaller time frame trade, essentially, is what I'm saying. Actually, probably not the 8. It doesn't look good on the 8. So the 4 or 6. You know, I might end up taking it on the 12. Like, let's say, for example, that this current 6-hour candle closes, right? And then a new one opens and it just kind of like doesn't really do much. Doesn't start moving up. It just like sits here, does something like that. You know, then that means, all right, nothing's happening there. So I'm going to switch up to the 12-hour and see if I can grab a trade there. So I'm watching this on the 4/6-hour, but we're just going to wait and see what happens. Does that make sense to everyone? Does anyone have any questions about that? AUDUSD potential long trade looks good. Now, while people type, Ash just typing. Yeah, while people type, I'll just quickly look at USDCHF again. So USDCHF, it's kind of stalling on this resistance area. Is this stall going to last? It doesn't look like it. I mean, it looks like buyers are in control overall. They've made a higher high. I mean, I'm not convinced that price is going to stall here, but there is potential for it to do so. So if it does, if price stalls here, we might be able to get into a nice little continuation reversal. So let's just see what happens. I'm not terribly excited over this one, but it's worth watching. GBP/JPY is also worth watching. This one hasn't hit resistance yet, but it is approaching this 14760, this major resistance area. So I really want to see what happens when it reaches that level. Because when it reaches that level, there's strong potential for a reversal trade and for a pretty big reversal trade. So I want to see what happens there. Thanks for watching the analysis. I hope it was useful. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button below. In case you missed it, Forex Mastermind, my online training course and forum, is now open for enrollment for a few days. Check it out by clicking the link below this video. Also, for instant notifications when I post analysis or other cool videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Once the setups I share in this analysis trigger, I post live updates as I manage the trade, such as my entry, exit, stop, and when to get out of the trade. For these updates, add me on Facebook or Twitter by clicking the buttons below. I'll see you in the next video.